sponsored by Dreame.
Hard floors are supposed to be easy until real life happens. Crumbs, a random splash, and hair all land in that same spot, and it's usually under the one piece of furniture you don't want to move. So you vacuum, then you mop, then you notice the part you missed. Dreame thinks the fix is one machine that goes flat, picks up wet and dry spills in one pass, with a roller brush that doesn't turn into a hair-covered mess, even with pets. This is the Dreame Aero Pro Wet Dry Vacuum Cleaner. It's a vacuum mop combo. A wet roller scrubs, suction pulls dirty water into a tank, and clean water keeps feeding the roller. Floor washers can be amazing, but they usually fail in two places: reach and the annoying cleanup after. Let's get started by talking about this lie flat design, because if it can't get under stuff, you're still doing the pretend it's clean routine. By the way, if you want to check this one out for yourself, I will have a link down in the description below. Dreame says the Aero Pro is 3.88 inches thick and it reclines all the way to 180 degrees, so it can clean under about 4 inches of clearance. That means you can actually clean under furniture instead of just vacuuming the visible part. The air-water separation keeps suction steady even when it's fully laid flat, which is good because a lie flat cleaner that loses suction is basically just a fancy squeegee. Looking at the rest of the design, you also get a nice lightweight body and a swivel joint to reduce pushing resistance so it steers easily without feeling like you're dragging an upright vacuum around. But reach is only step one. For a unit that claims to clean wet and dry messes at the same time, we need to know if it can actually clean in one pass. Dreame lists the Aero Pro suction power at 25 kPa. kPa is a pressure unit basically describing how hard it can pull. And what's interesting about that is that most competing wet and dry vacuums typically max out around 20 kPa, while the Aero Pro reaches 25 kPa. Here you can see how easily I can vacuum a bunch of dirt, dust, and hair while simultaneously cleaning up spilled liquids at the same time. And on a wet dry vac, that matters most when you've got gunk mixed with crumbs rather than a thin layer of dust. Now, as I mentioned, the Aero Pro vacuums and mops at the same time, and it uses a freshwater loop. Clean water rinses the roller, a scraper strips off the dirty layer, then suction pulls everything into the used water tank. So you're scrubbing with cleaner water instead of smearing old water around. You get a 1000 milliliter clean water tank and a 600 milliliter used water tank, plus dual edge cleaning for baseboards and corners. And the used water tank is the reality check. When you see how dark that water gets after clean looking floors, you understand why a quick mop pass isn't the same thing. The fact that it doesn't leave anything behind is pretty wild. There's really no need to make multiple passes. Now, if that's all it did, it would already be useful. But wet dry vacuums live or die on a way less glamorous problem, that being hair. Because once the roller tangles up, performance drops and maintenance becomes the reason you stop using it. The Dreame Aero Pro Wet Dry Vacuum Cleaner uses a feature called Tangle Cut 2.0. Dreame claims zero tangling for long hair, short hair, and even a mixture of human plus pet hair. And it holds up, and it's huge because it removes the one chore nobody wants, which is cutting hair out of the spinning brush on your vacuum. A clear roller means consistent pickup, smoother passes, and way less of that "why is this suddenly worse than yesterday" feeling. Okay, but even with the hair problem handled, there's another thing that we need to take into consideration with these types of devices, that being battery life. Now, most wet and dry vacuums or floor washers typically offer around 40 minutes of runtime, while the Dreame Aero Pro delivers up to 60 minutes, even at the powerful 25 kPa suction level. So far, I haven't had to run it for that long, but what I can say is that I am able to clean my whole 5,000 square foot home on a single charge without it dying. I have a Dyson stick vacuum that dies after about 20 minutes, and that makes it feel like you're racing against time. Having a super long runtime takes that stress away while cleaning, and there's no need to take a break while waiting for it to charge up. So cleaning works nicely, but if the machine smells weird after a couple of days, you're not going to want to use it. And that's where the charging station comes in. The charging station is the last mile, because a wet machine that stays wet turns gross pretty fast. Now, once you park the Aero Pro on the charging station and press the self-clean button, it runs a self-clean cycle where it flushes the roller and the internal water path with hot water up to 194 degrees Fahrenheit. That heat is doing two things. It helps break down leftover grime in the roller, and it helps keep odors from building up inside the system. After that rinse, the charging station switches to drying. And that's where it uses hot air up to 203 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's the key part, because fast drying is what stops that damp, nasty smell before it starts. And day to day, the routine stays simple. You refill the clean water tank, dump the dirty water tank, and let the charging station handle the messy middle, so the machine is actually ready the next time you grab it. The Dreame Aero Pro wet dry vacuum is built around the boring problems that decide whether you'll keep using it or not. Reach under furniture, handle wet and dry in one pass, avoid hair wrap, battery life long enough to actually finish the job, and cleaning itself well enough to not get gross. And don't forget, if you want to check it out for yourself, I will have a link down in the description below. Thanks for watching as always, guys. I appreciate your support. I'm Andru Edwards, and I will catch you in the next video.